All right, Mankind Pharma is in focus, and we have Mr. Rajiv Juneja of Mankind Pharma to talk about not only the numbers, but also the direction the company is taking, the strategic roadmap for the shareholders and for our viewers. Rajiv, good morning, and thank you so much for chatting with us on ET Now. We've tracked the progress, and also from the IPO onwards, the shape the company has actually taken. So great admirers. On your valuations, I remember at the time of IPO, there were a lot of naysayers and question marks being raised. But look at the way how value has been created for shareholders since then. And now, of course, new triggers are emerging. So thank you very much for your time on ET Now today. Rajiv, let me start with the kind of numbers you've posted, not only for the quarter, but for the full year as well. You've always, as a management, always stated that growth is one thing, but profit consciousness and margins are a very key part of the growth. From here on, this kind of a number that you have posted, almost big growth numbers, what is the target set for 25 or onwards from here on?
Yeah, we have given our target that we will always grow more than IPM by 1.3 to 1.4 times. That's kind of a target we always keep. Rather, I will say objective. We don't keep targets, we keep objectives. Targets have some kind of a ceiling, objectives don't have. Objectives come from heart, targets are games. So we always want to beat IPM because we believe that Mankind is a very special company. We have always done everything better than anybody else. We are actually disruptor. Just look at the past history. In last 5 years' time, we have become double. 5 years back, our revenues were 5,000 crore rupees. And after 5 years now, this year, we have crossed 10,000 plus crore rupees sales. Not only that, 5 years back, our chronic share was only 28%. Despite of the fact that our revenue is now 10,000 crore rupees, our chronic share has increased to 36%. And in future, in short term, the objective is having that share of chronic side to 40%, in long run, 50%. That's kind of the objective. And dreams are to become India's number one company in value, culture, respect, admiration, and always first from inside. Inside means Mankindians, those who are working in Mankind, they should admire the company, they should respect the company. Outside is just a outcome, byproduct. So we always think more intangible. How can we make Mankind some kind of institution? That's thought always. We are big admirer of Tata's, and we always say that maybe 200 years back, somebody in Tata's thought something called value, culture. So why cannot we take some kind of a inspiration from that this legendary house? We always think Mankind in terms of that only.
Great point. In fact, you're the youngest of the largest 4-5 companies, and the youngest one, most dynamic, I would say, and that is because of the high growth. And you are now putting a target of setting objective to become number one. That is something very interesting. I want to understand, Rajiv, from here on, chronic is an area of focus for the management, and you've been saying that we are going to increase our share of chronic segments, even from here on, new therapies. Which are those new therapies which are on your radar?
Last couple of years, our focus is towards chronic side, whether it's a cardio, diabeto, neuro, respiratory side, whether it's an onco side, anything in every place. We are all behind chronic side, and outcome is in front of you. 28% 5 years back, chronic share, and now 36%. And going forward also, we'll always focus on chronic. In future, as I just mentioned, there are certain areas where we are focusing. Now, more towards niche chronic. In chronic, more niche chronic. Like for example, Nobiglar, we just launched insulin. It's a very niche kind of a thing, which only very high-end doctor would write. That has become launch of the year this year. In some of the cases, our focus is how can we increase our entry barriers? How can we launch those products which can increase the entry barriers. So one way is to do something in innovation side. The second is in license side. So we, in last couple of years, we got 2 in licensed product. One was Naptas from Novartis. That became number 1. That was number 1 launch when we launched it. And this year, we have just signed an in-license deal with AstraZeneca. It took us 2 years to convince those people. And we have launched Symbicort, which is world's number 1 respiratory device. Earlier, we had CombiHale, which we bought from Doctors Ready. This is for the masses. And Symbicort is very niche, very, very plush for the high-end gentry. So focus is somehow that whatever we say, we should walk the talk. And
Right,
we're doing
Rajiv.
that.
Rajiv, is that the focus also? Recently, we have seen that you have raised a war chest. Are you scanning the market for inorganic opportunities as well to fit into your requirements for niche therapies?
When a company is generating surplus cash, there are 2 ways to spend it: either to give it in the form of dividends, or you use it in such a manner, in a judicious manner, that yes, you add certain things from outside inorganically. Our past says that only once in our past we have done something inorganic, that is Panacea and some products from Doctors Ready, that we did very successfully. Going forward, yes, we are in lookout for some inorganic entities. But again, we have seen in the past as well. In the past as well, we saw some big, small, medium kind of entities, but we never went for those. Why we did not go for? Because our philosophy is very, very clear. 4 things should be there. 1, that it should really add value to mankind's kitty of products. That is in the form of can we increase, can any entity's products can increase our market share in chronic side. That's the 1 thing. The second is, does the product does that entity has some consumer side products? Third, most important, are they coming with some kind of entry barriers? Are they difficult to make? And fourth, EBITDA margin accretive. The meaning basically is what if our EBITDA is 25%, their EBITDA should be more than 25%. On 4 things, we always look for anything. In the past, we saw many such kind of deals, but we did not go for it because we did not find them falling in these 4 categories. Same would our stand in future as well.
Sure. We'll wait for the right time when the time comes on announcement, and we'll probe you more on that, and we'll wait for your action over there. Rajiv, you've been a complete Desi company. You identified a big area requirement for our country. You started in 90s and started catering to requirements, and you understand on ground, the pulse of the people and also how medicine needs to be marketed in our country. Now we understand that the aim is to increase penetration. Are you only looking at metros, or there are some bigger cities emerging in the country, and what would your strategy be to increase your penetration there?
The simple thing is, right now we cover more than 5 lakh doctors. We were not there in the past. Past means 5 years back, in the top 2-3% category of doctors we have reached now. As far as metros are concerned, our share is 53% against other companies. They have got maybe more than 64%. Going forward, our focus would be on chronic, on metro side, and deeper penetration would be there in rural side as well. Both sides. You cannot say that we'll leave our core and just focus on our metros. Our core has always been tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities. We'll try to consolidate over there. We'll see that how dynamic are we, what are the requirements over there. So we are working on those sides as well. At the same time, the focus is towards some metro side as well.
Right. Rajiv, also talk to us about how exactly are you building alternative channels of growth, and also in this, in order to increase your doctor enhancement or even digital platform, how will that play a role as well in this strategy?
In the last couple of years, what we have done, we have just consolidated, made structural, modern uh, division, modern trade division. We are working on this e-commerce side as well. That how can we really help? What we have seen that modern trade division has done much better. E-commerce is okay, not great. That is good for consumer side, not for the pharma side because of a lot of compliances. So we just follow that as a law abiding kind of a company. We are very concerned about that. Uh, as far as the online things are concerned, India is still not really come to that kind of a level where only by that, as far as the pharma side is concerned, we can get some kind of noticeable results. Still, in-person meetings, in-person things, in-person interaction is better than online. So
Fair
we
point.
feel
Fair point.
that but having said this, it does not mean that we have left that. We are just building up. But these are more right now intangible, and we feel in future tangible things will come forward.
Sure. Rajiv, also share with us your plans of growing your consumer healthcare business. What exactly is the plan to scale it up?
Consumer business is very close to our heart. And you look at any brand of consumer side, Manforce, India's number one brand, Braga News, India's number one brand, um, Acne Star, Unwanted 72, Guess So Fast. Now, going forward, we'll be focusing on two more products. One would be our OVA News, which is basically to really, help girls identify those 5 most important days when they can conceive. This is one. The second product where we'll be focusing on would be our Nimulate, which we acquired from Panacea. We'll be bringing these two products aggressively in the market by promoting them. And just to really, say how confident are we? We have just carved out our OTC division from our main division. Now it is one of the subsidiary. Going forward, P&L of that subsidiary would be in front of everybody. And we feel that in last couple of months, whatever corrective actions we have taken in our consumer division would yield substantial positive results going forward. And we feel that going forward, our growth will come back to our past kind of growth.
Clearly. In fact, you have such a strong brand recall and brand legacy. Additional products on the back of that will only get you better mileage as well. Before we wrap, I want to understand how's the export side of the business shaping up. The numbers show very high growth, almost 175% growth. 296 is what you did, now standing above 800. Though it's on a smaller base, but how's the growth panning out? Are you looking at new products, new regions overseas as well?
We are a very India-focused company. You mentioned in your own commentary as well. We'll always be like India-focused company. 90% plus our sales come from only India. That would be our number one focus. When it comes export side, we keep only one thing in mind. Whatever we are exporting should be difficult to make, should be complex in nature, so that we can enjoy better credibility, better sustainable growth and profits from export. For the sake of just adding some kind of a revenue from our export side and launching Me Too products, that is not there in our mind ever. And when you think of export, we always think complex, and we think of complex products, they're not easy to find. So focus would be always complex and difficult to make products. And we feel next year, what kind of a guidance we have given, the growth would be in double digit, because last year the kind of growth we got because of our low base was low, so growth was more. But going forward, and we are talking about our growth on the base of year 24.
Right. Okay, before we let you go, just one last question, your message to the shareholder community. Since listing till now, they have been very happy. Numbers are speaking for themselves. On a more 2 to 3 year basis, strategically, what are the 2-3 areas you would want to tell them about?
one thing everybody can be assured of that we'll always work on the foundations. We'll never be a kind of a company which is in any way doing something over speculative, over aggressive. We'll always focus on one fact that until and unless we are solid from inside, uh, the good results cannot come. Mankind has always been a long-term kind of a company. We'll always focus on consumer side of products because they bring some kind of an entry barrier. Second is the chronic side. And third is once you work on these two things, once your feet are on the ground, once your ears on the ground, once you are in always there to really see what a real consumer want, and we basically want to give every consumer some kind of a delight, then good things really happen. So Mankind is a long-term kind of a company. It's not kind of a company which believes in any kind of short-term things. We feel that we are destined to become institution. We feel that we're destined to become number one company of India in terms of everything. And when I say everything, first in every department, whether it's a IT department of Mankind, marketing department of Mankind, finance department of Mankind. So we don't really evaluate or take inspiration only from one company. We take inspiration from different companies. That's a kind of a Mankind you will see in future.
Thank you very much for your time, Rajiv ji. Always appreciate our interactions and look forward to a great relationship between ET Now and Mankind even from here on. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot.